Located on the west bench of the Sanpete Valley, at the foot of the Sanpitch Mountains, is the settlement of Freedom. Established in 1870 by William L. Draper, also known as Doc Draper, the settlement was originally called Draper, named after its founder. However, the postal authorities made them change the name because there was already a town called Draper south of Salt Lake City, which was named for Doc Draper's father, William Draper Jr. It was then called Freedom because freedom is what they wanted, and the people felt now they could do anything they wanted. The settlement had a population of nearly 200, made up of about 20 families. Most of the families were polygamists, which made for a very tight-knit community. Although it was never incorporated as a city, Freedom became a county precinct in 1875 and contained a school, church, store, city hall, post office, and train depot. Strictly a farming community, the fruit orchards in Freedom were known as the best in Sanpete County. They grew apples, peaches, apricots, cherries, pears, and plums. At the top of the street, at the foot of the mountain, there was a large piece of ground planted in strawberries and raspberries. There are those who say Freedom in the springtime looked like the Garden of Eden. The old Freedom Cemetery began in 1885 as the Draper Family Cemetery, when Doc Draper lost a 4-month-old son, Andrew, and a 5-year-old girl, Amanda, within 48 hours of each other. He buried them side by side on his farm. Doc Draper's father then came to live with them in Freedom, where he died 1 year later on May 28, 1886. He was the next person to be buried in the cemetery. The Doc himself died May 2nd, 1887, and was buried there too. There is one full-blooded Ute Indian buried in the cemetery, and his name is Jim Wanup. Indian Jim, as they called him, was a well-respected citizen of Freedom. Residents built him a dugout to live in on the west side of town. He was said to be a gentlemanly Indian who owned an old black horse and buggy and dressed up when traveling to nearby Moroni. Jim did much scouting during the Black Hawk War and warned the settlers when Indians were going to attack. The cemetery has around 80 graves, many of them for children who died in a diphtheria epidemic. The cemetery is still visited by many people each Memorial Day and other times during the year. It's still a very peaceful and quaint little cemetery where those can come and remember what freedom used to be like. The community of Freedom has always been closely associated with the town of Moroni, even being included in its census precinct through most of its history. If you'd like to see more of this type of content, please hit the like button. Leave us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.